There's a federal investigation because 2 homes in Mississippi have exploded. Mysterious circumstances. Federal agency is investigating. Put up the picture full mass. 1 fatality already. It's so sad. Federal agency released a preliminary report on its investigation into 2 back-to-back home explosions that happened within days of each other in Jackson, Mississippi. We raised a lot of money for Jackson, Mississippi right here, and also a lot of awareness to the plight of their drinking water and some other things happening. This explosion, or these explosions, resulted in the death of an 82-year-old woman, according to the Mississippi Free Press. The first home on Bristol Boulevard exploded January 24th, killing Miss Clara Barbour. You see her there. Another person inside the home was able to escape. 3 days later, a home less than 1 mile away on Shalimar Drive exploded. That home was actually vacant. No one was hurt. Both homes were destroyed completely. The National Transportation Safety Board investigated both explosions to determine if they were connected in any way and if gas leaks or substandard infrastructure were to blame. The agency released its prelim report weeks after the explosions, stating that Atmos Energy Corporation, the company that provides natural gas to the houses, identified, quote, non-hazardous leaks in their distribution system near the homes before they exploded. But the company did not repair them at the time of their discovery. NTSB later discovered that the operating pressure of the pipeline running under the neighborhood was about 336 pounds per square inch PSIG, your pressure, which is below its maximum operational level. Quote, both before and after NTSB investigators arrived, Atmos conducted post-accident leak inspections at both locations and found leaks on mechanical couplings near the previously identified leaks. The NTSB report stated, quote, Atmos detected subsurface gas at the leaks nearest locations 1 and 2, the homes where the explosions occurred, and near the foundations of the adjacent homes. Residents who live near Ms. Barbour's home were forced to evacuate the days after the 82-year-old's home exploded. Crews dug up the yards of multiple homes on Bristol Boulevard. One resident told WAPT News that Atmos informed her they had to replace the gas lines. Why? Why did they have to replace the gas lines? Atmos also checked for leaks in nearby neighborhoods. The Mississippi Free Press reported that a Central District Mississippi Public Service Commission official and multiple Jackson City Council members met with community members in several meetings in the weeks after the explosions, where residents questioned Atmos Energy representatives about the safety of the gas pipelines running under their homes. Quote, we're going to look at everybody that digs in the ground, Commissioner D. Kether Stamps said at one of the community meetings. Quote, we're not letting Atmos off the hook at all. There's other folks running cable lines and broadband and water and sewer. We're going to look at everybody. NTSB will release a second report that is supposed to paint a better picture of what caused the explosions and reveal whether any safety measures were overlooked. It could take anywhere between 12 and 24 months to complete. While the NTSB is typically known for investigating civilian aircraft and train accidents, incidents involving natural gas pipelines are also under the agency's purview. But let me say this, it is rare that they exercise jurisdictional authority in a matter like this. And I'm going to say on record, I truly believe the reason they did is because they had other information. Maybe a tipster, maybe a whistleblower from said company. Because for them to get involved and for them to investigate this swiftly and come up with a conclusive investigative report this quickly is, well, let's just say unheard of. Now, there's this other element of, well, why would a gas company be able to basically launch their own investigation and still tamper with the pipelines while the investigation is going on of a federal agency investigating them. It's convoluted, obviously. So what do we have in Jackson, Mississippi? You have a tainted water supply. Now you have exploding gas pipes. Jackson is per capita the blackest major city in the United States of America. More black people live in Jackson than any other major city in the entire country. All right. Jackson, thoughts here.
So I think, when you really zoom out, this is a good example of the impacts of culture and how much, the idea that major corporations don't really need as much oversight and that a lot of political resources have been put into shifting capital out of the middle class. And so you've looked at the commoditization of pretty much every privatization, rather, or the attempt of privatization of pretty much every area of society. The stock market being so much of the emphasis on what the economy is, even though we know there's a lot more variables and aspects to it in terms of how much debt people have and how much just general economic access and opportunity people may have. But as you pointed out, not only is Jackson the blackest city in the country, but also Mississippi, if I recall correctly, is the poorest state in the union.
That's correct.
It's the poorest state in the union. So we see example after example, whether it be this, tainted water supplies all over the country, failing infrastructure, wildfires not being able to be properly contained, levees breaking. We just see that our infrastructure is more expensive to fix now than it would have been if we just stayed on top of it over the decades.
Yep.
So this really is what government should be doing. And this is what government does best. It's making sure that people's general needs are met in terms of their safety, being able to trust their water, being able to trust that, the pipes aren't going to explode, things like that. So unfortunately, despite the fact that the United States is as wealthy as it is, we have these kinds of issues just because of negligence and corruption.
Yep. And political agendas, obviously, adverse to taking care of people. We're going to follow this story naturally. We'll bring you updates as they come.